Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is for the Archive Registry. So here we got the Phyto Kingdom, which is split up into trees and plants, and then we got the Zoilica Kingdom, which is fungus. Trees, for this book, we're trying to get up to at least 100 different species of tree. For plants, we want to get to 200, and then for Zoilica, we want to get to 250. The reason for this is because I want there to be a fun, beneficial side to resource management. What I want to do is to be like, here's a resource, these are the benefits it gives, and these are also like side effects to it. These are like negative side effects, these are positive ones. This is what you can do to like maybe enhance it. This is what it offers when it's enhanced, so on and so forth. And then I leave it up to your interpretation of what you want to do to take it a step further. For example, some trees are gonna have specific qualities to them. What if a tree is resistant to lightning? Say if you were this dryad, and dryads are half-casters, if you were to make ammunition for your bow, which is an ability that dryads have where they can make ammunition, I believe it's 20 pieces of ammunition during downtime, with the resources that they gather. And also they get, double resources when foraging. Well, if they needed to make ammunition, then they're going through the woods and they say, hey, I want to inspect these trees to see if they're any good, okay? You roll like a nature skill, because remember, skills are now customizable. You can input whatever skill you want. Roll, succeeds. GM's like, okay, these trees are known to be great conductors of electricity, lightning, that sort of thing. I'm gonna chop this thing down and I'm gonna gather it and make, arrows out of it. Okay, so the dryad does that, and they hand it to the Aethera, and the Aethera's like, oh shit, like these things are resistant to lightning damage. I'm gonna give it a lightning enchantment. That way, if you were to shoot it, more lightning damage. And less likely of, if you had to roll a save or roll an attack check, that if you do fail, that they're not gonna just blow up due to the force of lightning. I think that'd be really, really cool. It also adds flavor. Now, do you have to do that? No, you don't have to do all that whole thing. You don't really need to do that. But it's a guide and an example of what the whole table can do, what you can do as a GM, and what you can do as a player. And then there's other things like poisons. So fungus and plants, the difference between them is not all plants are poisonous, but all fungus are. And it depends on how lethal the poison is. Well, for this poison, for this fungus right here, the ember mucus rot, if you don't prep it, because prepping it properly will not make it poisonous for you, or reduce the lethality of the poison. Basically, if you were to brush against it or eat it on accident, you would get burning boils, followed by an irritating rash, a fever, losing consciousness, and your insides would be basically turning to burning puddles inside of you before you die. This gives a bit of a description for the GM to be like, okay, this is what this thing would do to someone if they were to ingest it or use it as like a rubbing agent without prepping it properly. If one of the players is like, oh, I'm just gonna touch this mushroom and rubbing it and then eat it, the GM could be like, well, that's not a good idea. This is what happens to you. Now the party has to be like, oh shit, we now have to spend resources and time to save our buddy. I want to give examples and to list a ton of examples that people can use, get a good idea of how to create their own their fungus, plants, their trees, and then later on there's going to be minerals, there's going to be ores, there's going to be stone, there's going to be maybe like grass, there might be some other kind of resource, to be involved in this. And then with further updates like modules, there will be more additions to these things. So more different kinds of fungus, plants, trees, ores, minerals, quartz, diamonds, all that sort of stuff. At which point they will have certain kind of properties that classes can use to further the experience of role-playing, where you can feel like a necromancer concocting poisons and potions, the apothecary creating different kinds of potions to do a lot of cool things like cleansing debuffs, states, healing, boosting damage, boosting defense, boosting speed, sight, other senses, the distance to jump, the height of jumping, that sort of thing. So it's to expand the role-playing and playing style in general. I feel like resource management doesn't have to be a daunting experience. There's no reason for it to be a horrifying crap show. I'm going to make it my mission to make resource management fun and exciting and enjoyable. That is the mission, that is the plan with this. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns or comments, please let me know down in the comment section of this video. I really would love to hear them and would love to gain your own insights and your experience of how you view resource management and what kind of games you've played that made it fun, or what kind of games you played that made it terrible. Thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you're all staying hydrated and out of the heat, because this heat wave is insane and ridiculous. Stay hydrated, everyone. Thank you again. I'll see you all in the next video. Farra Viking. Skål!